Introduction. Self-discipline entails the capacity to regulate and channel one's mental, emotional, and behavioral processes for the purpose of accomplishing one's aims. It's a compass that helps people make decisions that are in line with their long-term goals and values. Learning to put off gratification in the short term and persevere through adversity in order to reap benefits in the long term is an essential part of this process. Self-discipline is an essential part of self-improvement, since it helps one form healthy routines and stick to them over time. It's a trait that's highly prized in the workplace and respected among peers. Self-disciplined professionals are always on time, always dependable, and always giving 110%. They're able to focus on what has to be done, figure out how to do it, and then do it. People who are self-disciplined are able to maintain their concentration and dedication to their goals in the face of challenges. The benefits of self-discipline extend far beyond those of professional and personal development. Confidence, honesty, and tenacity are just few of the traits that can flourish under its tutelage. When people discipline themselves, they gain faith in their own abilities and confidence in their ability to persevere through adversity. With this kind of conviction, you may confidently take on new challenges and seize growth possibilities. Self-discipline is also essential for regulating one's mood and keeping one's cool under trying circumstances. The ability to delay an emotional response provides for more considered and positive outcomes. Emotional control helps in problem-solving, communication, and building a positive culture at work. Self-discipline also motivates people to always work on bettering themselves and to welcome learning as a way of life. Individuals are motivated to learn new things, develop their abilities, and adjust to their surroundings as a result. Individuals that are dedicated to continuous improvement can thrive in today's dynamic workplace. Self-discipline is not something you're either born with or not. It's something you can work on and get better at over time. It calls for introspection, drive, and regular practice. Individuals can progressively build self-discipline and gain its benefits in numerous areas of life by setting realistic goals, breaking them down into manageable steps, and holding oneself accountable. Discipline helps one develop a sense of personal accountability and responsibility. Taking responsibility for one's actions and choices is emphasized. Disciplined people know that they are responsible for their own actions and outcomes, rather than blaming others or circumstances. With this outlook, they are better able to take charge of their lives and make decisions that are in their best interests. Self-discipline makes you more resilient and able to keep going even when things get tough. It educates people to look at setbacks as challenges they can overcome. Disciplined people don't let failures stop them. Instead, they use them to push themselves further towards their goals. Their strength of character and resolve have been bolstered by their capacity to overcome adversity. All things considered, self-discipline is a game changer that powers development on all fronts. It gives people the strength to concentrate, keep going when things get tough, and make decisions that are in line with their ideals. In this book, we will delve into all you need to know about cultivating self-discipline. Your entire goals, achievement, and fulfillment are all within your reach when you cultivate self-discipline. Chapter 1. An Introduction to Self-Discipline. Self-discipline is the development of the willpower to persist in the face of setbacks or the temptation to give in to more pressing needs. Self-discipline, at its heart, entails a set of tenets that help one achieve mastery over oneself and develop as a person. Commitment is an important part of self-discipline. Making up one's mind to go for something despite the presence of obstacles is an example of perseverance. This guiding concept stresses the need of goal setting and unwavering commitment. Consistency is another guiding element. Self-disciplined people know that hard work and persistence pay off in the long run, not overnight success. They commit to routines and practices that help them reach their objectives, increasing the likelihood that their day-to-day decisions will have a positive impact on their future success. One further important aspect of self-control is maintaining concentration. Focusing means giving 100% of one's mental and physical resources to the activity at hand, while ignoring or dismissing any potential distractions. Disciplined people understand the importance of staying focused and avoiding distractions. Self-discipline relies heavily on the virtue of patience. Be patient and open to the possibility that progress will be slow at first. Disciplined people know that they need to keep going even when things slow down or they encounter obstacles. Self-discipline relies heavily on the development of self-control. Self-control is the ability to hold off on satisfying short-term wants in favor of more substantial gains down the road. People who are self-disciplined learn to control their impulses, think before acting, and avoid doing things that might get in the way of their success. Self-disciplined people, moreover, hold themselves to the highest standard of accountability. They are committed to making their own decisions and accepting the consequences of their decisions. They have high expectations of themselves, keep track of their development, and make themselves responsible for ensuring that they continue making progress towards their objectives. Self-discipline requires consistent effort. Individuals need to be able to keep their heads down and keep pushing on despite the path becoming increasingly difficult. Disciplined people know that failures are to be expected and use them as learning experiences. The effects of self-discipline are not limited to the individual, but can have far-reaching consequences. In school, for example, self-discipline is crucial for things like establishing a regular study routine, organizing one's time wisely, and keeping one's mind on the task at hand when the going gets tough. Self-disciplined students are more likely to achieve academic success because they are able to set academic goals and stick to them without giving in to procrastination or other distractions. Self-discipline is an absolute must when it comes to your body's health and fitness. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle entails things like working out regularly, eating right, and finding a good balance between the two. Disciplined people value their own health and happiness enough to work on improving their own lifestyle patterns. Self-discipline is an essential factor in achieving success and productivity in the workplace. It requires purposeful planning, effective time management, and consistent self-discipline. Self-disciplined professionals are more likely to complete projects on time, maintain a high standard of quality, and actively seek out new challenges. Financial matters are another area where self-discipline is useful. It requires setting financial goals, creating a savings plan, and making sound investment choices. Self-disciplined people are better able to control their spending habits and save for the future, resulting in greater financial stability and peace of mind. Self-discipline, in its essence, is a virtue with far-reaching effects. Individuals can gain agency, meaning, and development by embodying its guiding ideas. Self-discipline aids in overcoming obstacles, keeping one's eye on the prize, and making decisions that support one's ultimate aims. Self-discipline, honed through regular effort, can be the defining characteristic of a successful and happy existence. Self-discipline also has significant effects on one's psychological and emotional health. Building one's own strength, resilience, and stress tolerance is essential. Disciplined people put themselves first, making time for things like meditation, mindfulness practice, and relaxing pastimes. They understand the significance of a well-rounded lifestyle in supporting their psychological and emotional well-being. Integrity and self-respect are developed via practicing self-discipline. When people make decisions that are in line with their beliefs and ambitions, they strengthen their sense of self and their confidence in themselves. They change into reliable people who follow through on promises and take personal responsibility for their behavior. Self-control is also linked to increased confidence and independence. The ability to delay gratification and control impulses frees people to make decisions that benefit them in the long run. Self-discipline is a powerful tool for empowering people to take charge of their life and create the future they want for themselves. Self-discipline is not about being perfect or depriving yourself of pleasure. Finding a happy medium between instant gratification and long-term satisfaction is the goal. Disciplined people know the need of self-control and occasionally treat themselves without letting it derail their progress towards their larger goals. Differentiate between intrinsic motivation and self-control. A person's motivation can be defined as what pushes them to take action or keep working towards a goal. It usually begins with the identification of a need or want. Both internal, coming from one's own goals and ideals, and external, coming from others' incentives or threats, can serve as sources of motivation. As a catalyst, it sparks interest and drives effort. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is the capacity to regulate one's own thoughts, feelings, and actions so as to maintain attention on and dedication to a goal throughout time. It entails ignoring short-term pleasures in favor of decisions that will have a greater impact on the big picture. Individuals who are self-disciplined are able to control their impulses, delay gratification, and remain loyal to their regular habits and rituals. Self-discipline is the fuel that keeps one going even when the going gets tough, whereas motivation is the initial spark that ignites the desire to attain a goal. Discipline, on the other hand, is an internal quality that can be developed and improved through practice and habit building, while motivation is more transitory and subject to outside influences. Self-discipline is more strongly tied with concepts like willpower, focus, and perseverance than motivation is. Self-discipline is the foundation for turning dreams into reality, just as motivation offers the initial thrill and drive. It's important to keep in mind that the two concepts of motivation and self-discipline are complementing rather than competing. While inspiration might get you started, it takes self-control to keep going when the going gets tough. Together, they form a powerful force that boosts your chances of lasting success. Motivation can come from a wide number of places. The motivation could come from a lifelong interest in the subject matter or a burning wish to have a positive impact on the world. Recognition, prizes, and society norms are all examples of extrinsic motivators. A student's motivation to do well in school can stem from a variety of sources, including a desire to impress his or her professors and parents. Inspiration is mood and circumstance-dependent and subject to change. Motivation can be ignited by hearing or experiencing an uplifting story or by seeing the achievements of others. However, it's possible that inspiration alone isn't enough to keep people loyal over the long haul. It can weaken when problems arise, when hopes are dashed, or when the novelty wears off. Self-control is crucial at this juncture. Self-discipline is maintaining interest and effort despite waning enthusiasm or unfavorable circumstances. It calls for individuals to practice restraint in the face of temptation and to make deliberate decisions that are in line with their objectives. The ability to delay gratification in favor of future gains is a hallmark of self-discipline. Developing and sticking to routines, forming and keeping good habits, and mastering one's time are all essential components. Disciplined people know the value of putting in the work now to reap the benefits later. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is a learned behavior that can be cultivated and strengthened over time, unlike motivation, which can come and go. It calls for regular effort and the formation of routines that facilitate success. Self-discipline is the ability to control one's own behavior and hence maintain focus, withstand setbacks, and keep plugging away until one achieves their goals. Even though they serve different purposes, drive and self-discipline frequently complement one another. The motivation that comes before taking any kind of action or embarking on any kind of adventure is crucial. Self-discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps people going through the inevitable ups and downs, monotony, and temptations. Self-discipline provides the framework and resolve to keep at it until the job is done. The two concepts of motivation and self-discipline are related yet distinct. While inspiration sparks initial action, it takes self-discipline to keep going when the going gets tough. Both are crucial to one's development, success, and full potential actualization. People's chances of achieving success and happiness in the long run are improved via the practice of self-discipline and the encouragement of intrinsic motivation. Self-control does not entail stifling emotions or leading a life devoid of spontaneity or pleasure. It's about striking a balance between self-control and allowing oneself some freedom to pursue one's dreams. Disciplined people know that they need downtime for renewal and reflection if they are to keep their discipline in check over the long haul. A potent synergy is created when drive and self-control are brought together. Self-discipline maintains the work, consistency, and resilience needed to produce real achievements, whereas motivation offers the initial inspiration and excitement. They are a powerful duo that helps people advance on their paths to achievement. The positive outcomes that can come from practicing self-control. The capacity to overcome procrastination and keep one's mind on the task at hand is one of the greatest benefits of developing self-discipline. Practicing self-control makes us better at setting priorities and getting things done on schedule. This new skill set allows us to face problems head-on and not fall into the trap of procrastination or diversion. Achieving our goals and realizing our full potential depends on our level of dedication and the regularity with which we work towards them. Improving our mental and emotional health is another important function of self-discipline. It strengthens our willpower and fortitude, making it easier to deal with challenging circumstances. Discipline helps us strengthen our willpower, allowing us to avoid giving in to impulsive actions and harmful temptations. As we grow more aware of our strengths and perceive ourselves as unique individuals who can triumph over adversity, our confidence and sense of worth rise. One of the most significant benefits of practicing self-control is the formation of lifelong routines that enhance one's health and happiness. Discipline in the areas of diet, physical activity, and sleep all contribute to improved health and energy. For example, regular exercise not only maintains physical health, but also triggers the production of feel-good endorphins that can lift mood and lessen stress. In addition, a well-balanced diet and lifestyle can boost energy and well-being, preventing harmful excesses and encouraging the former. Self-discipline is important not only for our personal development, but also for our success in the workplace. We are able to meet deadlines, complete projects efficiently, and consistently provide high-quality output because we are focused and committed to our job. Self-disciplined people are highly prized by their employers and peers because of their dependability, loyalty, and diligence. Therefore, self-disciplined people have better job prospects and more options for personal development. Discipline has far-reaching effects on our hopes and dreams for the future beyond its obvious short-term advantages. Consistently devoting oneself to one's chosen activities paves the way for future success and development. Discipline is essential for realizing our goals in life, whether they involve learning an instrument, publishing a book, or launching a business. Although the road ahead may be bumpy, the sense of pride, accomplishment, and meaning we'll feel once we reach our destination will be well worth the effort. Essentially, training oneself to be disciplined is a life-altering experience that pays dividends in many other areas. It aids in overcoming procrastination, boosts our emotional and mental health, encourages better lifestyle choices, and boosts our career opportunities. Furthermore, self-discipline prepares the path for development and the realization of goals over time. Discipline is the key to realizing our full potential and building a life that matters and brings us joy. Developing a strong sense of personal responsibility and accountability is another benefit of self-discipline. When we cultivate this quality, we learn to consider how our choices will affect not only ourselves but also those we care about. We refuse to shrug off failure, but instead view it as a chance to improve and refine our methods. Taking responsibility for our actions has positive effects on our personal and professional lives, including building trust and respect among friends and colleagues. The ability to exercise self-control is directly related to our success in kicking harmful routines and addictions. It helps us avoid the temptation of short-term pleasures in favor of decisions that benefit us in the long run. Discipline is the bedrock of every long-term lifestyle shift, be it giving up nicotine, cutting back on screen time, or beating an addiction. By making better decisions and maintaining a dedication to personal growth, we can break the mold of negative habits and create a life based on optimism and development. When we exercise self-control, we are better able to maximize our time and seize opportunities when they present themselves. By setting priorities and removing roadblocks, we make room for self-improvement and career advancement. We are able to get more done in less time as we grow more productive and efficient. Because of this, we are unrestricted in our pursuit of new interests, opportunities, and challenges. Self-discipline allows us to reach goals we might not have thought possible and to craft a life that is rich in experience and growth. Learning self-control is a life-altering experience that pays out in innumerable ways. It helps us conquer procrastination, improves our mental and emotional health, leads to more beneficial lifestyle choices, boosts our career possibilities, and encourages our overall development as people. It helps us take responsibility, alter harmful routines, make better use of our time, and forge stronger resolve. Self-control is the key to realizing our full potential and building a life that is meaningful to us. It's a talent that lasts a lifetime and helps us get where we want to go and have the kind of success we want. Self-discipline motivates development and steady progress. It forces us to leave our safe spaces and try new things while weighing the potential consequences. When we challenge ourselves to do more, we learn more about ourselves and our capacities. Discipline is the means by which we pursue a never-ending quest for self-knowledge and mastery, always pushing ourselves to grow and improve. Another major benefit of practicing self-control is the growth of a disciplined work ethic. Adopting a disciplined mindset means valuing effort, persistence, and commitment. We're prepared to put in the time and energy required and go above and beyond expectations to succeed. This work ethic not only helps us succeed professionally, but it also makes us feel good about ourselves and our accomplishments. It permits us to view our work not as burdens, but as chances for development and self-expression. The payoffs and advantages of learning to control oneself are, in essence, enormous. It influences our connections with others, helps us find calm within, propels development, encourages hard effort, and gives us agency in our life. To reach our maximum potential, succeed, and feel a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose in life, we must embody discipline. Self-discipline is a means to a goal, but it's also a path to personal development and mastery that lasts a lifetime. Chapter 2. Cultivating a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset means you think you can get better at things and get smarter if you put in the time and effort. It requires taking risks, keeping going even when things get tough, and viewing setbacks as stepping stones to success. Applying a growth mindset to the practice of self-discipline yields substantial benefits in terms of personal progress and accomplishment. Having a growth mindset allows one to see self-control as a trait that can be developed. Discipline is not seen as something you are either born with or not. Rather, it is seen as something that can be cultivated through hard work and practice. Knowing that one's capabilities are not static, but may be developed via focused effort, this viewpoint encourages people to take charge of their own self-discipline development. Those who have a growth mentality are more likely to accept new challenges and expand their horizons. Self-discipline entails learning to put off gratification, choose the harder path, and push through the pain. People who have adopted a growth mindset are more likely to meet these tests with optimism, realizing that the effort required to develop self-discipline will be worthwhile in the long run. They don't take failure or difficulty as evidence of their own inferiority, but rather as a chance to learn and develop. Having a growth mindset helps build resilience, which is crucial for keeping up your own personal discipline over time. People who have a growth mentality are more likely to persevere in the face of adversity and achieve their goals. They have learned that mistakes are a necessary part of development, and that being unsuccessful does not limit their potential. They are able to persevere in the face of adversity and emerge stronger on the other side, which in turn strengthens their capacity for self-control. The growth mentality also encourages striving for improvement rather than perfection. People with this outlook recognize that self-discipline is not a destination, but a process of constant development. They recognize that even baby steps towards self-discipline add up and help them reach their ultimate goals. This point of view lessens the burden of constant perfection and inspires people to keep going in spite of temporary lapses in discipline or temporary setbacks. A growth mentality, in the end, lays the groundwork for a constructive and empowering strategy for cultivating self-discipline. It changes the emphasis from predetermined skills to open avenues for development. A growth mentality is one that encourages taking risks, sticking with tasks, even when they're challenging, recovering quickly from failure, and celebrating small victories along the way. Having a growth mindset allows one to reach their maximum potential in terms of self-discipline, opening up new avenues for development and success in many areas of life. People who adopt a growth attitude are better able to bounce back from setbacks. They don't take setbacks personally or use them to judge themselves. Rather, they see them as stepping stones to success. They have a mentality to learn from their errors, pinpoint problem areas, and make necessary adjustments. People with a growth mindset are more likely to stick with their self-discipline goals despite setbacks, because they view failure as an integral part of learning. The growth mentality encourages introspection and self-examination. People who have this outlook are more likely to examine their own motivations, emotions, and actions in relation to self-control. They own up to their mistakes and look for ways to better themselves via self-discipline. When people take the time to reflect on their own experiences, they are better able to recognize recurring tendencies, emotional triggers, and potential roadblocks. This introspective strategy helps people to make deliberate decisions and improvements, leading to more efficient methods of self-discipline. Individuals with a growth attitude are also more likely to actively seek out feedback and coaching. People with a growth mindset are more likely to seek out mentorship and advice because they understand that they have much to learn from others and can profit from hearing different points of view. They recognize the benefits of pooling resources with those who also practice rigorous self-control. One's development of self-control can be sped up by an openness to instruction from those around them. Individuals are more likely to take initiative and find creative ways to solve problems when they approach self-discipline from a growth mentality. People with a development mentality don't let failures or difficulties derail them. Instead, they see them as challenges that can be overcome by thinking beyond the box. They are certain that they can attain success if they put forth the necessary effort. Positivism and toughness in the face of setbacks are two additional benefits of adopting a growth mindset. People who have faith in their own potential for development are more likely to keep a happy attitude regardless of external circumstances. They view failures as opportunities to grow and change, and they are resilient in the face of adversity. Their strength of character permits them to persevere through the trials of their self-discipline quest. A growth mentality fosters confidence in one's own abilities. People with this outlook consider themselves fully capable of directing their own lives and the outcomes they experience. They recognize that self-control is a learned behavior and that their actions determine their outcomes. This confidence in their own ability and willpower serves as the driving force behind their efforts to cultivate self-control. Those who adopt a growth mentality are more likely to be open to ongoing development and progress. Whether it's a win or a loss, they take it all in stride and use it to better themselves and their methods of self-control. They are always on the lookout for ways to improve their field by learning about and implementing new information and methods. Their development is aided by their openness to new information and their willingness to modify their strategies as they learn more about self-discipline. Methods for making the change from a fixed to a growth mindset. Changing from a fixed to a progressive mentality is an arduous process that calls for constant work and introspection. In order to make it through this change and cultivate a mindset that welcomes education, perseverance, and growth, consider the following suggestions. Self-awareness is the first and essential skill to develop. Think about what you think and feel about your strengths and weaknesses right now. Be aware of when you have thoughts like, "I can't do this," or "I'm not good at that," and realize that they are blocking you from reaching your full potential and seizing exciting new chances. After coming to terms with yourself, it's time to actively replace limiting beliefs with more expansive ones. Keep in mind that it takes time and practice to improve your skills and abilities. Accepting setbacks as learning experiences is another vital tactic. Instead of avoiding challenges, you should look at them as opportunities to learn and grow. Failures and setbacks should be seen as important learning opportunities rather than sources of shame. Adopt the mindset that hard work and tenacity are necessary for achievement, and see setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. Don't take criticism as an indication of how well you're doing. Instead, use it as a springboard for more learning and development. Adopt the attitude that criticism is an invitation to grow and improve. Seek for advice and direction from people you trust, such as mentors, coworkers, or people in similar positions. Changing your perspective from one of comparison to one of self-improvement is also key to developing a growth mindset. Instead than wasting time feeling bad about yourself because of how you measure up to others, focus on improving yourself. Recognize that everyone is on their own path and celebrate your own successes, no matter how modest. Realize that everyone's development is relative to their own beginning place and that you should concentrate on self-improvement rather than seeking external approval. Put yourself in the company of people who have a similar growth mindset to your own. Hold discussions with those that encourage you to take risks, stick with difficult tasks, and grow intellectually. Get in touch with successful people who can act as mentors and role models for you. You may strengthen your growth mentality and find a welcoming community by working with people who share your interest in personal progress. Keep in mind that the transition from a fixed to a progressive mentality is a long and winding road. You may progressively change your thinking and uncover your actual potential for personal and professional growth by fostering self-awareness, embracing difficulties, seeking feedback, adjusting emphasis, and surrounding yourself with growth-oriented persons. The power of yet can be harnessed via practiced resilience as you continue your journey towards a development mindset. You may not have mastered a skill or accomplished a goal just yet, but keeping a growth mindset and working hard will allow you to do so in the long run. Having faith in yet can help you see obstacles as stepping stones on the path to success. A mindset of continuous learning is also crucial. Recognize that your education does not finish when you graduate from high school or college. Take on challenges with an open mind and a hunger to learn something new. Keep an open mind, since being exposed to new things can help you develop both personally and professionally. Reframing setbacks and errors is essential in creating a growth attitude. Consider them to be opportunities to grow instead of measures of your competence or worth. It's important to reflect on past blunders in order to learn from them and make more educated choices in the future. Fear of failure can be overcome, and a more resilient and growth-oriented outlook on life can be adopted if you reframe setbacks as stepping stones to success. Goals should be hard yet achievable and should reflect your values and interests. Create a plan to achieve each of these objectives by breaking them down into manageable chunks. Acknowledge your progress by marking off each accomplishment as you make it. Doing so will encourage you to keep going. The cultivation and maintenance of a growth mindset rely heavily on practices of mindfulness and self-care. Make time for things that help you think deeply about yourself, including meditation, journaling, or just going outside. Insight into your inner world gained through these methods can strengthen your capacity for self-compassion and resilience in the face of adversity. It's important to keep in mind that adopting a development mindset isn't a straight line. It's common to have difficulties and go back into old ways of thinking. Practice self-compassion and see each day as a chance to fortify your growth mentality. You can continue to adopt a growth mentality through diligence, introspection, and regular practice, so realizing your entire personal and professional potential. Make it a point to regularly evaluate your progress and thoughts. Make it a habit to periodically assess where you stand in terms of goals, progress, and areas for growth. Be honest with yourself about your abilities and where you need to put in more work to reach your full potential. When you take the time to reflect on your own development, you can learn more about where you are on your path and where you want to go. Adopt a can-do attitude and see failures as learning experiences. The ability to recover quickly from setbacks is an example of resilience. Develop resilience by learning from your mistakes instead of letting them deter you. Adopt the mindset that any setback is just temporary and can be used as a stepping stone to greater success. Reframe bad events, reach out to others for help, and take care of yourself to face adversity head-on with optimism and strength. Have compassion for yourself and accept your flaws. Embrace your fallibility and know that blunders are an inevitable part of developing your expertise. When you're going through tough times, be patient and kind to yourself. Recognize that you are valuable and capable despite your flaws and challenges. You can build a growth attitude and foster a supportive setting for your own progress by practicing self-compassion. Make a setting that encourages development. Get in the company of people who will help you maintain a positive, growth-oriented perspective. Find people who can help guide, critique, and inspire you along your path by seeking out mentors, coaches, or accountability partners. Join a club or organization whose members share your commitment to continuous improvement and learning. You may strengthen your growth attitude and draw motivation from those around you by surrounding yourself with positive people. Don't give up on improving your knowledge and skills. Adopt a perspective that views learning and development as a continual process. Pursue workshops, classes, seminars, and online materials that can aid in your education and growth. Continuous learning not only improves your knowledge and abilities, but also solidifies your conviction that development is a never-ending process. Keep in mind that adopting a growth mindset is a process that takes time and effort. Accept where you are and give yourself time to get better. There are fresh chances for development and education every day. Using these methods on a regular basis, you can develop a growth-oriented, resilient attitude that allows you to overcome obstacles and reach your full potential. Roadblocks and self-limiting beliefs that stand in the way of self-control. The desire of rapid gratification is a common barrier. Today, instant gratification and rapid cures are highly valued in our culture. Short-term pleasures are tempting, but staying disciplined and working towards long-term goals is more rewarding in the long run. The need for quick satisfaction can make it difficult to establish self-discipline since it can lead to procrastination, a lack of enthusiasm, and a never-ending loop of distraction. Fear of failing is another barrier. Many people are reluctant to venture outside of their safety nets and test the waters. They may be unable to move forward with any discipline because they are petrified of making a mistake or failing. The resulting pessimism and lack of confidence in one's own talents makes it hard to keep going when faced with adversity. The assumption that one lacks the ability to control themselves because of a lack of willpower or innate talent is a common obstacle to self-discipline. If you think self-control is something some individuals are born with and others aren't, you may give up on yourself and your goals. When people tell themselves they lack the ability to acquire discipline, they reinforce that notion and make it harder for themselves to improve. The concept that discipline necessitates giving up fun or leading a life of austere rigor is another limiting myth that many people believe. This view fosters a false choice between self-control and contentment. Many people are resistant to cultivating discipline because they believe that doing so will result in their losing their ability to act freely and creatively. Discipline can be difficult to maintain because of external factors like distractions and societal norms. Notifications, social media, and other forms of constant entertainment can be a serious distraction and mental drain. Individuals may feel overwhelmed and disheartened in their quest of discipline due to cultural expectations and comparisons with others, which can set unreasonable standards. Negative experiences or setbacks in the past can also play a key influence in preventing people from exercising self-discipline. The confidence and drive of an individual can be weakened by the accumulation of setbacks and failures. It might be difficult to maintain discipline when one has lingering doubts about one's own abilities and worries about making the same mistakes twice. Self-discipline can be hindered by not having clear and explicit goals. Without a defined end goal, it's hard to keep going when the going gets tough. Without clear goals to work towards, it can be difficult to muster the motivation to practice self-discipline. These roadblocks and limiting ideas can be formidable adversaries to one's own self-control. However, once they are identified and dealt with, people can start to break free from their hold and develop the routines and outlook essential for long-term self-control. Building one's own sense of awareness is essential. The first stage is becoming aware of the repetitive ideas, feelings, and actions that underlie the lack of discipline. The causes of one's own diversions, procrastination, or self-doubt can be discovered through objective self-observation. It is crucial to make the mental shift from a fixed to a growing mindset. It's empowering to believe that self-discipline is a skill that can be honed with time and effort. One's ability to persevere and sustain discipline in the face of adversity is directly correlated with his or her ability to view setbacks and failures as learning experiences rather than assessments of their own talents. Establishing definite, reachable objectives is crucial for maintaining self-control. The ability to focus and feel like you're making progress toward a goal is greatly enhanced when that objective is broken down into smaller, more doable activities. Having a firm grasp on the end result you want also helps you set priorities and make decisions that are in line with your long-term objectives. Establishing an encouraging atmosphere is crucial. Having people around you who support and encourage you, or who have similar goals, can have a significant impact on your own self-discipline. Having an accountability partner or joining a group with similar objectives might help you keep motivated and on track. The key is mastering efficient methods of distraction management. Reducing distractions when working requires setting limits with technology, such as shutting off notifications or scheduling block periods of time. The Pomodoro technique, work in intervals with brief breaks, and other time management strategies, such as having a dedicated location free of distractions, have been shown to increase focus and output. Taking care of oneself is an important part of developing self-discipline. Taking care of one's body by getting enough rest, eating right, and exercising can increase one's vitality and focus. Discipline is more likely to flourish in an atmosphere where stress is reduced and general well-being is improved through practices like meditation and mindfulness. The ability to have compassion for oneself is crucial for overcoming self-defeating thoughts and mistakes. Individuals are better able to recover, gain insight from experiences, and maintain motivation if they acknowledge that failures and setbacks are inevitable in the learning process. Self-compassion and acceptance lead to an optimistic outlook that aids self-control. Chapter 3. Goal-oriented planning. When we know exactly where we want to go, we can plot out a course to get there. By having a firm grasp on our end goals, we may avoid getting sidetracked or overwhelmed by the myriad of activities competing for our attention. With a defined goal in sight, we can go forward with confidence, accomplish more, and save money. In addition, having goals that matter gives our actions direction and meaning. They provide us pleasure and contentment when we reach certain goals or finish certain tasks. When we set goals that align with our deepest beliefs, interests, and ambitions, we feel a surge of intrinsic drive and are more likely to persevere in the face of adversity. They motivate us to challenge ourselves, develop our potential, and become better people. Self-awareness and introspection are boosted when we set specific, meaningful goals. During the process of goal setting, we learn more about our capabilities, limitations, and potential for growth. By knowing our own strengths and weaknesses, we may create a plan to close the gap between our current situation and the one we envision for ourselves. It encourages us to learn new things, expand our abilities, and form good routines, all of which contribute to our overall progress. Having well-defined objectives also facilitates tracking of performance. By laying out clear and quantifiable objectives, we can monitor our progress and assess our efficiency in an unbiased manner. Through this monitoring, we are able to zero in on the specifics of where we are succeeding and where we need to make adjustments or put in more work. We can stay motivated, make course corrections, and celebrate successes as we make progress towards our goals because of this ability to track our development. The lethargy and complacency that sometimes prevent us from going after our goals can be overcome with the support of a well-thought-out plan. Having a goal in mind can motivate us to take the necessary steps toward achieving that goal. We are more likely to take initiative, make confident choices, and welcome tests of our mettle that help us grow. Setting and reviewing goals on a regular basis can help keep us focused and motivated in the face of challenges and discouragement. Defined objectives are also important in the workplace, alongside personal development. Setting clear objectives in the workplace gives workers a sense of accomplishment and progress. By doing so, they can feel more connected to the firm as a whole and more proud of their contributions. When everyone on a team knows what they're shooting towards, it's easier to communicate and work together to achieve success. Because of this, the business is now operating more effectively, efficiently, and creatively. Prioritization is much improved by having well-defined objectives. Goals serve as filters, allowing us to focus on what is most important despite a sea of less pressing concerns. They help us choose actions that reflect our deepest principles and goals. Goals help us avoid wasting time and energy on unimportant tasks by making it clear what we should be focusing on. The ability to effectively evaluate progress depends on having well-defined goals. If we don't know what we're aiming at, it's hard to tell if we've succeeded. Having a set of objectives to work towards allows us to evaluate our performance and make any required course corrections. Having well-defined measurements and checkpoints allows us to evaluate our progress objectively and plan accordingly. Ultimately, goal setting allows us to live with greater purpose and meaning. It gives us the freedom to establish our own standards for achievement and to work actively towards their attainment. In order to maximize our potential, take advantage of possibilities for personal development, and design a life that reflects our beliefs and interests, we need to set goals. The process of self-improvement, growth, and discovery begins with the establishment of specific objectives. When we have well-defined objectives, we are better able to forge ahead despite setbacks. Having a clear destination in mind helps us stay focused and resilient when we run into difficulties along the route. Reversals don't have to be seen as fatal. We can change our approach or look for help to keep going forward. Having something to work for gives us the motivation to get up after a setback, make the necessary changes, and come back even stronger than before. Having well-defined objectives also increases feelings of accomplishment. Getting closer to our objectives fills us with pride and satisfaction. The happiness we feel from accomplishing goals and tasks gives us the strength to keep pressing forward. Not only does reaching our goals improve our mood and energy levels, but it also motivates us to pursue even more ambitious objectives. Having defined objectives also allows us to better allocate our time and resources. When we know exactly what we want to do, we can concentrate on the steps that will get us there and ignore the ones that won't. When we focus our time, energy, and money on activities that matter and bring us closer to our goals, we become more efficient and successful. Being deliberate about what we do increases efficiency and improves our odds of success. With well-defined objectives, we can foster a culture of responsibility and accountability. Having well-defined goals allows us to monitor our progress and ensure that we are making progress towards our goals. When we see how our efforts directly contribute to our progress towards our goals, we develop greater self-control and dedication. To further encourage us to stay focused and achieve progress, we can establish a sense of external accountability by telling others about our goals and asking for their support or input. How to set goals that are actually achievable. Think about what you value and what you hope to achieve. Think about the goals you have in various areas of your life and the things they mean to you. Learn to see the big picture and utilize that as a map to direct your goal setting. When outlining your objectives, be as specific as possible. State your goals explicitly rather than making nebulous proclamations. Spell out your end goal, your timeline for reaching it, and why it's so important to you. This level of specificity is useful for drawing an unambiguous path to success. Reduce daunting undertakings to more manageable chunks. Breaking down large, ambitious objectives into manageable chunks can help you get there. Your goals should be achievable and time-bound so that each action advances your project. Establish measurable criteria by which you can evaluate your progress. In this way, you can keep tabs on your progress and make required adjustments. Maintaining momentum requires consistent self-evaluation. Set ambitious yet realistic objectives. Growth occurs when you stretch yourself, yet establishing objectives that are impossible to achieve can be discouraging and demotivating. Strive for a middle ground that challenges you without putting you out of reach. Align your targets with your overarching aims. You should set objectives that are consistent with your long-term objectives. Make sure they have substance and will help you grow as a person or in your career. Having this link will give you something to work towards. Make a schedule with firm due dates. Putting a time limit on your objectives can make you work faster and more efficiently. However, when planning timelines, it's important to keep external circumstances and potential obstacles in mind. Create a strategy that lays out the measures you need to take to realize your objectives. Separate each objective into manageable steps and identify the tools, knowledge, and help you'll need to succeed. A well-organized strategy can help you get where you need to go and keep you from being sidetracked. Maintain your adaptability. Realize that you may need to make some changes to your plans as time goes on. Keep an open mind and be willing to make adjustments or try new things. The ability to effectively respond to challenges and persevere in the face of adversity depends on your level of adaptability. Be responsible for your own success. Own your development and keep close tabs on your results. It's important to check in on your progress towards your goals on a regular basis and make any required adjustments. Get help from role models, friends, or yourself if you're struggling to maintain your motivation. Enjoy the small victories along the way. Be proud of yourself and give yourself credit for any progress you've made. Marking accomplishments not only makes you feel good, but also encourages you to keep pushing forward. Keep in mind that defining and achieving goals is an ongoing procedure. Consistently assess your progress towards your objectives and make any adjustments as necessary. Enjoy the process of reaching your objectives, grow from your mistakes, and maintain your focus. It's also crucial to maintain an optimistic outlook on life as you work towards your goals. Have faith in yourself and a positive frame of mind. Gain assurance in oneself and the ability to bounce back from adversity. The way you think is critically important in establishing your level of achievement. Get opinions and help from people around you. Put yourself in the company of positive, motivating people. Tell someone close to you about your plans so they can help keep you accountable and offer advice. Motivation can be boosted and new insights gained through teamwork. Maintain productivity by keeping things in order. Prioritize your objectives and break them down into manageable chunks. Keep track of your projects and when they're due by using a to-do list, calendar, or smartphone app. Time management skills allow you to set aside focused effort in pursuit of your objectives. Be open to improving your knowledge and abilities throughout time. Determine what you need to learn or improve upon in order to reach your objectives, and then go out and get it. Learn more about your field of interest through exposure to it, whether through books, classes, workshops, or other experiences. Continually expanding your knowledge base is a surefire way to boost your abilities and speed up your progress. Develop a can-do attitude and stick with things even when they get tough. Realize that failure and difficulty are normal companions on the road to success. Instead of giving up, try to see these setbacks as challenges you can overcome. You can get through obstacles if you change your approach, gain wisdom from your setbacks, and keep a positive frame of mind. Maintain your drive by frequently reflecting on the bigger picture of your efforts. Think about the good that will come from achieving your goal. Make use of affirmations and vision boards as visual reminders of your ambitions. Get motivated by reading about or looking up to others who have accomplished what you want to accomplish. Acknowledge even the smallest steps forward. Appreciate and acknowledge the work you've put into achieving your objectives. No matter how modest, progress towards your goal is progress nonetheless. Celebrate your successes by rewarding yourself in some way. This might be as simple as giving yourself some time off or as elaborate as buying yourself a new piece of clothing. Motivating and boosting yourself via pride in your accomplishments. Keep in mind that defining meaningful goals is not a one-step procedure, and that you may need to make adjustments and fine-tune your approach as you go. Keep an open mind, maintain your focus, and relish the process of growth and success. Raising one's level of self-awareness can greatly improve the success of goal planning. Learn your strengths and where you can use some work. Recognize any self-doubt or limiting ideas that may be holding you back. You can overcome these obstacles and make progress towards your goals if you take the time to get to know yourself. Create a responsible system. Get yourself an accountability partner or join a community where you may report on your progress towards your goals on a regular basis. Having someone to answer to for your actions is a great way to keep yourself motivated and on track. Maintaining your health is just as vital as reaching your lofty goals. Take care of yourself. Give yourself breaks when you need them, and invest time into your relationships to keep from burning out. Having a healthy, well-rounded lifestyle benefits you in many ways, including your general sense of well-being and your ability to get things done. It's important to periodically evaluate your progress and adjust your targets accordingly. Your hopes and ambitions may alter as you mature and experience new things in life. Check in on a regular basis to see if your objectives still hold any weight. If you want your goals to continue to serve as sources of motivation and inspiration, you should revise or create new ones. Try to concentrate and avoid diversion. Distractions are a common cause of failure in today's fast-paced society. Find the most common interruptions and figure out how to stop them. Establish habits that help you stay on track towards your goals, and make sure your workspace or study area is free of distractions. Maintain a habit of introspection and growth. Stop every so often and take stock of how things are going, both good and bad. Honor your triumphs, but don't forget to learn from your mistakes. Make better selections and adjust your strategy based on what you've learned. Foster toughness and persistence. It's possible that you'll have to overcome some difficulties and experience some setbacks on your journey to success. In such times, it's important to keep a level head, take stock of what you've learned, and keep moving forward. Develop a can-do attitude and view failures as learning experiences. How to set objectives that are in line with your core beliefs. The first step is to examine your core beliefs. Your values are the guiding ideas and ideals by which you live your life. Spend some time thinking about and articulating your most fundamental beliefs. These might be anything from truthfulness and kindness to self-improvement and originality. Find out why you're doing this next. Your life's purpose is the driving force behind why you exist and the difference you hope to make in the world. Think about what makes you happy, what causes you to lose track of time, and what gives your life significance. Give some thought to the ways in which you might improve the lives of individuals and the world at large. Once you have a better grasp of your beliefs and why you're doing what you're doing, it's time to evaluate your present objectives. Do they jibe with what you've learned? Do they align with your beliefs and help you accomplish your goals? Examine the extent to which your aspirations are motivated by external factors or cultural expectations rather than your own true passions. It may be time to take a step back and rethink your objectives. It may be time to reevaluate and make changes if you discover that some of your current objectives are at odds with your ideals or life's greater meaning. Giving up on old ambitions or adjusting them so they fit your values and aims better are both viable options. Prioritize self-actualizing personally significant goals. Make sure your objectives are well-defined and attainable. Make sure that your objectives are well-defined and quantifiable. You can use this to monitor your development and maintain your concentration. Make your long-term objectives more manageable by breaking them down into shorter, more immediate objectives. You'll have a better time of it and a higher likelihood of success if you do this. Constantly reevaluate your values and objectives. Your goals and ideals may shift as you mature and develop. It's vital to check in on them from time to time to make sure they're still in line with your objectives. It's important to stop every so often to assess where you are and how you can improve your trajectory. When you set objectives that are in line with your beliefs and your life's mission, a tremendous energy is created that helps you go forward. Knowing that you are working towards what really matters to you and making a positive difference in your own life and the lives of others is a powerful source of motivation, fulfillment, and satisfaction in its own right. Consider alignment more of a path than an endpoint. Realize that aligning your goals with your beliefs and purpose is an ongoing procedure rather than a one-time exercise. You may learn more about yourself and your ideals as you grow and take advantage of fresh experiences and perspectives. Don't close the door on change, and do not stop adjusting your sights. Maintain a healthy dose of introspection as you go. Make it a habit to periodically evaluate the degree to which your aspirations reflect your core beliefs and life's mission. Listen to your heart, gut, and inner wisdom. Take note of the times when you feel connected and fulfilled, as well as the times when you don't. Stay loyal to who you are by going with your gut and making necessary modifications. Get help and advice for people around you. It can be helpful to talk things through with people you trust, such as friends, mentors, or coaches. They can support you when things become tough, challenge your preconceptions, and help you dig deeper into your beliefs and sense of purpose. It's important to surround yourself with like-minded people who may serve as a source of inspiration and motivation. Adopt a mindset that allows you to stretch and change. While it's necessary to have something to guide your actions, you should also be flexible enough to take advantage of new chances as they arise. What we think we desire now may change into something more in line with who we are and what we're here to do. Have the flexibility to go with the flow of life and make room for development and expansion. Raise a glass to the progress made and the milestones reached. Acknowledge and celebrate the progress you've made in bringing your objectives into line with your values and your life's mission. No matter how big or tiny, you're always making progress towards a more genuine and meaningful existence. Don't forget to reward yourself. Reflect on what you've accomplished and revel in your successes. Keep in mind that finding your true north requires you to examine your own personal beliefs and ambitions. Respect your own path and don't look at others as a measuring stick. It's acceptable if your journey looks different from those of your peers. Pay attention to your gut and do things that reflect your personal values, goals, and ideals. Goals that are in line with your values and your life's purpose can bring you greater satisfaction, happiness, and harmony in the long run. It gives you the confidence to act in ways that are consistent with who you truly are, so improving both your life and the world at large. Enjoy the ride, be yourself, and continually realign your goals with your beliefs and purpose as you develop as a person. Keep your principles and goals in mind while you make choices. Consider your values and goals whenever you are presented with a decision or an opportunity. Consider how each alternative fits with your values and how it might add to your life's deeper meaning. Taking action from this point of harmony can provide insight and genuineness. Maintain a growth mindset as you work towards your shared objectives. Accept that hiccups and obstacles are unavoidable on every path. Don't look at your mistakes as setbacks. Instead, use them to propel you forward. Put what you've learned from these trials to good use by updating your objectives, expanding your sense of what matters most, and fortifying your resolve to succeed. Regular reflection can help you keep your values and goals front and center. Dedicate some time each day to thinking about your aspirations, values, and life's meaning. Reconnecting with your inner wisdom and staying in alignment can be accomplished through journaling, meditation, or deep talks. Check in on a regular basis to see if your plans still reflect your values and priorities. Iteration and progress are to be welcomed. You may learn new things about yourself, the world, and the things that matter most to you as you move forward on the path of aligning goals with values and purpose. Give yourself permission to revise your objectives as necessary. Don't be afraid to open yourself up to new ideas and the possibility of change. Chapter 4. How to build success habits. The ability to put off instant gratification in favor of a more substantial reward is fundamental to self-control. In this respect, habits are extremely useful instruments since they enable us to act automatically and with less cognitive load. By training oneself to follow a set of rules, one might avoid having to make choices all the time, freeing up brain resources to be applied elsewhere. Repetition helps habits gain traction and become automatic, lessening the mental and emotional strain of self-discipline. Let's say you're picturing someone who wants to start living healthier. At first, it may take a lot of determination and deliberate effort to avoid unhealthy eating and get into a regular workout program. But if you stick to your healthy diet and exercise routines, they'll become second nature in no time. After a while, the individual's healthy habits take over, and they no longer need to rely on willpower to make good decisions. Anchors in a sea of turbulence and uncertainty, our habits keep us afloat and let us feel in control of our lives. They provide a regular cadence that aids in maintaining concentration in the face of distractions and difficulties. Habits can be a stabilizing element, reminding us of our commitment and giving a way back to self-discipline when external factors threaten to derail our progress. Behaviors have a compounding effect on our progress and development. When little things are done regularly over time, they add up to big results. Consistently practicing good habits strengthens self-control and develops fortitude and integrity. The sum of these successes is what gives us the power to push through difficult times and achieve our goals. But it's important to remember that bad habits might actually make it harder to exercise self-control. Bad habits might sabotage our efforts at self-discipline if we let ourselves fall into their trap. For instance, giving into procrastination on a regular basis or relying on unhealthy coping techniques might weaken our resolve and slow our development. As a result, it is essential to recognize unhelpful patterns of behavior and replace them with more constructive ones that support our objectives. Simply said, self-discipline is built upon a foundation of good habits, which serve to automate the cultivation of beneficial behaviors, lessen the burden of making decisions, ensure consistency, and promote development. In order to achieve our goals in life, we need to equip ourselves with the tools necessary to deal effectively with the inevitable difficulties we will inevitably face. Moreover, our habits have a significant bearing on our character and outlook. When we constantly practice self-disciplined habits, we begin to see ourselves as disciplined people. Our confidence in our own abilities to exercise self-control and remain dedicated to our objectives is bolstered by the positive ideas and attitudes that result from this perception of ourselves. Taking on the persona of a self-disciplined individual strengthens our resolve in the face of challenges. Rather than giving in to temptation, we can make decisions that support our long-term goals by drawing on our established routines and the sense of identity they have helped us cultivate. This mental shift helps us become more resolute and resilient in the face of adversity. Establishing good habits can make you feel successful and empowered. There's a sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that comes from sticking to our routines, whether they involve regular exercise, studying, or practicing a skill. Having our efforts rewarded in this way keeps us going and motivates us to keep up our self-control. The notion that self-discipline is useful and leads to personal improvement is strengthened by the gratification obtained from experiencing the actual outcomes of our efforts. The positive feedback loop that habits produce is crucial. The momentum we gain from forming and keeping good habits permeates all aspects of our life. A person's productivity and well-being may benefit from other aspects of their morning routine if they, for instance, often wake up early to exercise. When we achieve our goals in one area, it strengthens our conviction that hard work and self-control pay off and encourages us to apply same principles to further endeavors. It's important to remember, though, that developing habits of self-control takes time and effort. Disciplined actions can't just be something we do on the side. They need to become routine. To make a habit last, it's best to ease into it gradually, perhaps by doing less at first and doing it for longer each time. By committing to constructive routines, we put our health and development first. Happiness and fulfillment are the results of many practices, including taking time for introspection, being more present in the moment, and pursuing passion projects. They build our willpower by reminding us that we are worthy of receiving the benefits of our own efforts to care for ourselves. Developing responsible and accountable routines is another benefit of forming habits. When we resolve to stick to a certain routine, we are really making a pact with ourselves. By holding ourselves responsible for our actions, we are more likely to achieve our personal goals. We understand that our choices have repercussions, and that by adopting and maintaining self-disciplined routines, we are moving purposefully in the direction of realizing our goals. It's crucial to recognize that developing habits of self-discipline is not always a straight line. It's possible that we'll make some mistakes or stray from our usual routine now and then. Disciplined people, on the other hand, are distinguished by their resilience in the face of adversity. They don't see setbacks as fatal, but as stepping stones to further development and a more robust dedication to self-discipline. Keeping a growth mentality is crucial on the path to developing self-control through habit formation. Keep in mind that it is possible to create new habits and alter old ones. Adopt the mindset that self-control is a skill that can be developed and honed. Developing self-discipline requires accepting setbacks as opportunities for learning and improvement. How to create a strategy for successful routine formation. Define precisely what it is you hope to accomplish by making these changes to your routine. Make sure your objectives are SMART, meaning they are specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. For instance, instead of aiming for something broad like exercise more, try working out for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Modify your plans by dividing them into more manageable chunks. In this way, they become less daunting and more doable. Figure out what you need to do to replace bad behaviors with good ones. Begin with manageable, baby steps that you can easily incorporate into your regular life. Put yourself in a position to succeed by shaping your surroundings to foster good practices. Make it simpler to practice good habits and more difficult to get into bad ones. You may, for instance, eliminate potential distractions in your home or schedule specific times of day when you can use technology. Make use of reminders and cues, such as written notes or audible alarms, to urge and reinforce the desired behaviors. Sticky notes and alarm clocks can be strategically placed to serve as constant reminders. A habit loop is formed when the cue you set up in turn prompts the desired behavior. Find someone to hold you accountable and encourage you by discussing your plans and accomplishments with you. The odds of succeeding can be boosted dramatically with the help of an accountability partner. You might join a club or find an accountability partner who has the same goals as you. Keep a log of your accomplishments and reward yourself for them so you can keep going when the going gets tough. Track your progress toward your goals by keeping a notebook, using a mobile app, or some other method. Small wins along the way should be celebrated to keep your drive high and your resolve strong. Be flexible and willing to make modifications based on feedback as you go. Find out if the new routines are helping you and if you need to make any changes. Being able to shift your strategy based on what works best for you requires a high degree of adaptability. Keep in mind that adjusting your routine takes time and perseverance. It's natural to make mistakes or slip up momentarily. Try to be gentle with yourself and recommit to your goals throughout these times. If you put in the time and effort, you can change your ways and build a life that's better in every way. Maintaining a healthy dose of introspection, habitual evaluation, and course correction will serve you well. If you adopt a growth mindset and commit to a path of self-improvement, you will develop patterns of behavior that serve to strengthen and enrich you. Habit formation relies on the existence of a conducive environment. Find good people to associate with and associate with good people. Motivating factors include social support and accountability. Share your goals with those closest to you. Become involved in organizations that share your passions. And think about teaming up with someone who can hold you accountable. Changing bad habits into good ones is another useful tactic. Rather than trying to stop an unhealthy habit cold turkey, it can be helpful to replace it with a more positive one. If you're attempting to cut back on unhealthy snacking, for instance, it can help to identify healthy alternatives. Substituting a positive behavior for the negative one can improve your chances of success in the long run. Positive routines can be strengthened through the use of a rewards and reinforcement system. To keep yourself motivated and to make the habit more fun, it is important to celebrate your successes, no matter how minor. Rewarding oneself doesn't have to be anything more complicated than doing something you enjoy. Monitoring your development helps you become more self-aware and responsible. Make use of a diary, smartphone app, or routine tracker to keep track of your daily activities, feelings, and difficulties. Reviewing your progress on a regular basis allows you to spot trends, evaluate your performance, and make modifications as needed. Understanding what sets off undesirable behaviors is essential for overcoming them. Learn to identify the contexts, feelings, and individuals responsible for your undesirable actions. The ability to successfully avoid or work through these triggers depends on first recognizing that they exist. The use of positive affirmations to counteract negative self-talk is another effective method. Consciously reframe your negative thoughts and beliefs into positive ones will help you overcome them. Self-compassion requires remembering that setbacks are learning experiences. The process of becoming a habit is one that requires patience and perseverance on your part. Recognize that progress is gradual and that it is natural to experience setbacks. Don't be hard on yourself if you make mistakes. Just pick yourself up and keep going. Keeping a growth mentality and fighting through difficulty are keys to success. Ultimately, self-discipline, dedication, and a sincere desire for change are what it takes to create beneficial habits and break harmful ones. Incorporating these methods will have a beneficial domino effect on your health and happiness that will go well beyond changing your routines. Mindfulness and self-awareness training, in addition to the aforementioned techniques, is crucial. Try to keep an open mind while you watch your inner processes. With this newfound insight, you can examine the motivations behind your habits and make informed decisions. Integrating your routines into your overall goals and values is another powerful strategy. Align your ideal routines with your most important principles. Remind yourself how, for instance, prioritizing health and wellness through regular exercise reflects that value. Habits are more compelling and simpler to maintain when they are based on something you care about. Creating a schedule and sticking to it can help you form positive routines. The more consistent you are, the more comfortable you'll become, and the more firmly established will be the neural connections in your brain that lead to the desired behavior. Make a plan that will help you reach your goals, and keep to it even when you don't feel like it. Having an accountability partner or coach to help you develop good habits can be quite helpful. They can look at your situation objectively, keep you honest when things become tough, and cheer you on when you need it. Working with a partner who is just as invested in making a change as you can multiply your results. Keep your cool and be kind to yourself as you go. Realize that developing healthy routines and eliminating negative ones is not a straight line. Even if you slip up or fall off the wagon for a little while, every day is a fresh start. Be gentle and forgiving with yourself, and aim for growth rather than perfection. Chapter 5. How to overcome procrastination. Factors at play on the mental and emotional levels are often at the root of procrastination. A feeling of being completely overtaken is a major factor. When we have a lot of work to do or are confronted with a difficult challenge, we may freeze up or feel inadequate. The overwhelming nature of the undertaking can cause us to second-guess our abilities or even put off getting started. Procrastination is also strongly linked to perfectionism. Many people worry that their work won't measure up to their own or others' lofty standards because they set the bar too high. This paralyzing fear of failing or making mistakes can cause people to put off doing things until later, so they don't have to face possible disappointment or criticism. Lack of focus or purpose can also contribute to postponing important tasks. It's easy to procrastinate and let things slide when you don't have a crystal clear picture of what needs to be done and why it's crucial. Without a strong incentive, it's easier to put off completing a work in favor of the short-term pleasure of doing something else. Modern life's abundance of readily available diversions serves to amplify procrastination. We become distracted from more difficult or time-consuming work because social media, video streaming platforms, and other types of entertainment provide instant gratification. When coupled with a need to avoid monotony or pain, these diversions can be hard to ignore. Procrastination is exacerbated by a lack of self-control and poor time management abilities. Problems with time management, underestimating how long things will take, and impulsive behavior can all slow you down and force you to scramble at the last minute. There are also emotional considerations. Self-sabotage in the form of procrastination is a common strategy for dealing with stressful, anxious, or fearful feelings. People typically find temporary reprieve from their stress by putting off the task at hand, but this is usually followed by further stress as a result of approaching deadlines. Our capacity to commence and maintain concentrated work can be hampered by a lack of intrinsic drive. When we have trouble finding the motivation to get started on a work because it is boring or irrelevant to our core values and interests, we are more likely to put it off. Extraneous circumstances can contribute to an atmosphere that encourages postponement. The propensity to procrastinate may be influenced, for example, by a lack of accountability or external deadlines. It's easy to put off doing something until later when there aren't any immediate repercussions or outside pressure to get it done. As an added bonus, a lack of structure or organization in our daily routines and workspaces can contribute to a disorganized attitude and hamper our capacity to commence and sustain focused work. It's hard to set priorities when you're surrounded by clutter and have no set habits to rely on. Our procrastination tendencies can also be influenced by our past experiences and our conditioning. Subconsciously, we may grow to dislike doing some things if we've learned to associate them with pain or other unpleasant feelings. Because of the unpleasant feelings or thoughts that may be connected to doing these duties, we may put them off indefinitely. Fear of success, in addition to other factors, has been linked to procrastination. Fear of the consequences of success, such as greater responsibilities and expectations, or the potential loss of one's existing lifestyle or relationships, can run deep in some people. To avoid changing the status quo and dealing with their anxieties, they may subconsciously put off taking action. Social comparison and the worry of being judged by others can also play a role. Feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt might arise when we compare ourselves to others and conclude that they are more successful or have more skills. This can cause us to put off doing what has to be done since we won't put forth the effort we know we should. There's a wide range of factors, both internal and external, that contribute to procrastination. The ability to be productive, efficient with one's time, and proactive in one's approach to work depends on one's ability to identify and solve the root problems that inhibit these behaviors. Fear of failing and the negative emotions it evokes are also significant factors in putting off important tasks. Putting off work because of anxiety over potential failure or dissatisfaction with the results is understandable. The need to safeguard one's sense of self-worth and prevent the disappointment and self-criticism that may accompany perceived shortcomings often gives rise to a crippling fear of failure. Low self-esteem and a lack of belief in one's own ability to succeed can also have a negative impact on motivation and add to procrastination. When people question their own competence or worry that they don't have the skills essential to complete a task, they may put it off indefinitely. A lack of confidence in one's own abilities might lead to further delays, which in turn can perpetuate unfavorable views of one's own abilities. Procrastination may serve as an emotional defense mechanism for dealing with negative feelings like tension, boredom, or dissatisfaction. For a short while at least, negative feelings can be numbed and forgotten as one indulges in some form of instant gratification. Procrastination is a vicious cycle that, if not broken, can lead to a great deal of worry and guilt. Feeling helpless is another factor that might lead to putting things off. Individuals may take a passive approach and postpone taking action if they believe that external circumstances or causes beyond their control will greatly affect the success of their efforts. When people believe their efforts will go to waste, they lose interest and keep putting off getting anything done. Procrastination can also be caused by having too high of standards for oneself and thinking that one must either achieve perfection or achieve nothing at all. Some people might not even bother getting started on a project if they don't have the time and energy to devote to it. Such a high bar for achievement might be counterproductive because it is often impossible to achieve in practice. How to stop putting things off and start getting things done. If you're struggling with procrastination, one strategy is to divide large projects into more manageable chunks. Procrastination is common when working on a large project because of fear of failure. It's easier to tackle a large burden if it's broken down into smaller, more manageable chores. Keep your mind on a single task at a time and congratulate yourself on completing each milestone along the road. Setting up a regular regimen that you can stick to is also an effective strategy. The chance of procrastinating decreases when you have a clear strategy outlining when you will complete various tasks. Maintaining a healthy work-life balance requires setting daily or weekly objectives and scheduling time for rest, recreation, and personal care. It's important to avoid being sidetracked by unnecessary factors by setting up shop in a productive atmosphere. Turn off notifications on your devices, find a quiet place to work, or make use of programs designed to boost productivity, such as ones that prevent you from accessing particular websites or applications while you're trying to get some work done. The Pomodoro technique is one method for managing time effectively. It entails working in focused intervals, for example, 25 minutes, followed by brief breaks. Keeping yourself motivated is a must when trying to avoid procrastination. Try to get in touch with your objectives and the feelings that will come from achieving them. Think about how good it will feel when you achieve your goal. If you need motivation or someone to hold you accountable, reach out to your loved ones or your coworkers. The ability to get things done increases dramatically when excellent habits are established. To overcome procrastination, one must first recognize the behaviors that lead to it, such as excessive use of social media or a disorganized work environment, and then try to replace them with more productive ones. Start your day off right by doing something productive like exercising, meditating, or organizing your schedule. These routines generate energy and enthusiasm, which in turn sets the stage for a fruitful day. Maintaining your emotional and physiological health is crucial to your ability to get things done. Maintain a healthy routine of sleep, exercise, and eating. Be careful to give yourself plenty of time to relax and refocus between tasks. Spending time in nature or indulging in a relaxing hobby can do wonders for restoring one's energy and boosting productivity. Organizing your work in order of importance and deadline can be quite helpful. Focus first on the activities that have the greatest impact on achieving your objectives or meeting your deadlines. This manner, you may focus your efforts and energy when you have them. By setting priorities, you can avoid feeling overwhelmed by a big list of things that need doing. Eliminating or delegating jobs that don't demand your whole attention or skill is another beneficial strategy. We tend to put off doing things that aren't our top priority or that someone else could do better. Consider your current workload and see what may be outsourced or automated. In doing so, you'll be able to devote more time and effort to the activities that genuinely demand it. Having a comfortable place to work is important for concentration and output. Maintain a spotless, well-organized, and distraction-free workspace. Make the most of your time by adjusting your surroundings to meet your needs. Some people are more productive and inspired by their surroundings when they include things like plants, windows, and soothing music. Adopting a growth mindset can help you overcome perfectionism and the fear of failure that can lead to procrastination. Realize that failure and misfortune are natural parts of development and learning. Instead than focusing entirely on the end result, celebrate each step forward. The fear of failing can be overcome, and a productive mindset maintained by a focus on the process and constant progress. Taking responsibility for one's actions is an effective strategy for beating procrastination. Join a study or a productivity group where you may discuss your goals with others and hold one another accountable. Having a support system that you can regularly check in with can be a great source of motivation and encouragement. Create a method of rewarding and motivating yourself. Create mini goals within your larger project and give yourself a reward when you reach each one. It could be as simple as allowing yourself to indulge in a snack or taking a few minutes to do something you enjoy. Motivated and satisfied by the knowledge that your efforts are paying off, you'll be more productive as a result. Get better at managing your time. Among these methods is the establishment of firm goals and the subsequent observance of those goals. Make use of calendars, to-do lists, and task management software to stay on top of your obligations and meet your deadlines. Make the most of your time by giving your attention to the activities that will have the most influence on bringing you closer to your goals. Develop a cheery and upbeat attitude. Stop talking to yourself negatively and start saying good things instead. Remember your strengths and accomplishments when you're tempted to give up or avoid a difficult assignment. Get involved in encouraging groups and activities. Read encouraging books and listen to motivating podcasts to surround oneself with positive influences. The benefits of maintaining an optimistic outlook on life are numerous. Take advantage of your visualizing abilities. Spend some time every day imagining yourself doing what you set out to do. Envision the satisfaction of hard work paying off with good results. Having a clear mental image of your accomplishment might serve as a powerful motivator and spur you on to action. Find a way to hold your teammates accountable by working together. Get in touch with a kindred spirit or a group of friends that are on the same path. Tell them how things are going and what you're doing to improve. The amount of work you get done increases dramatically when you have someone checking in on your progress and cheering you on. Staying on track and keeping the momentum going might be aided by having regular check-ins, talks, or even collaborative working sessions. Figure out how to deal with interruptions productively. Determine what is distracting you the most and work on eliminating it. It may be as simple as turning off your phone's notifications, as well as scheduling in time to check your email and social media, or as elaborate as setting up a separate, distraction-free work area. Setting limits on interruptions helps you keep your concentration and direct your efforts where they will do the most good. Find out what methods of productivity work best for you by trying them out. Since each individual is different, it's important to try out various methods and choose on one that works best for you. While some people do better with rigid timetables, others do better with more leeway. Evaluate your progress and make adjustments to your approach as needed to maximize efficiency. Keep in mind that the road to increasing productivity and decreasing procrastination needs patience, introspection, and flexibility. Don't rush things. Acknowledge small victories, and never stop looking for ways to improve your workflow. You may overcome procrastination and reach your full potential in productivity and success with diligence and initiative. Determine what works best to keep you inspired and moving forward. First, you need to have a plan and make some concrete, attainable objectives. Having a clear goal in mind and making plans to achieve it can give you a strong sense of motivation. This lucidity aids in maintaining enthusiasm and concentration for the activities at hand. Positive thinking is essential for staying motivated. Taking a positive outlook and seeing setbacks as learning experiences might help you push through difficult situations. Having motivating people and things in your life, such as encouraging friends and role models, can also help you stay motivated. One effective strategy is to link one's values with one's goals in order to discover one's own intrinsic motivation. You'll be more likely to achieve your goals in the long run if you link them to factors like personal development, helping others, or finding meaning in what you do. One useful tactic is to reward yourself for completing intermediate steps. Motive can be increased by the use of positive reinforcement, which is created when you recognize and reward yourself for your successes. These occasions can be commemorated in a variety of ways, such as by indulging in a favorite activity or giving yourself some much-needed downtime. To avoid becoming overwhelmed and to keep moving forward, work should be broken down into smaller, more manageable chunks, and a strategy should be developed. Taking things one step at a time will help you feel like you're making progress and keep you motivated. Keeping your bearings can also be aided by assigning chores in order of priority and urgency. Motivating yourself can be aided by thinking about and learning from the successes of others who have set and attained comparable goals. Participate in success narratives, peruse biographies, and network with people who have achieved similar goals. Reading about other people's successes and failures and being motivated by their stories can give you a fresh burst of inspiration and new perspectives. Taking care of one's emotional and physiological health is crucial for maintaining drive. If you want more energy and to feel better overall, then you should get more exercise, eat better, and get more sleep. Meditation, mindfulness, and hobbies are all great ways to alleviate stress and refuel your enthusiasm. Accountability might be an effective method of keeping the ball rolling. If you want to stay dedicated and motivated, it can help to share your goals with a trusted friend, join a supportive community, or locate an accountability partner. When you tell other people about your goals, you develop a sense of accountability that keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. Another strategy is to push oneself beyond one's usual limitations and take on more difficult tasks. Motivation can be drained by routine and routine tasks. You can encourage development and reawaken your motivation by venturing out of your comfort zone and taking on challenging new activities. By adopting a growth mindset, you can view setbacks not as failures, but as chances to learn and improve. Distractions can slow you down. Therefore, it's crucial to get rid of, or at least put them to a minimum. Locate and eliminate the sources of distraction that cause you to lose focus and motivation. In order to focus and get more done, you may need to implement certain barriers, like a designated work area or time management strategies. Maintaining a regular review and reflection schedule can help put things in perspective and keep you motivated. Take stock of your progress, celebrate your successes, and plan for your future growth. This introspection can act as a confidence booster and a reminder of your strengths. Maintaining forward motion requires actively seeking out criticism and reflecting on and growing from mistakes. Think of setbacks as educational opportunities rather than obstacles. Adopt a growth mindset that stresses the importance of self-improvement and coping skills. You may maintain your drive and make progress by incorporating criticism into your strategy and viewing failures as learning opportunities. Remember to enjoy and take pride in your work. To maintain motivation, it helps to love what you're doing and care deeply about your outcomes. Motivate yourself through discovering novel solutions to problems, opening yourself up to new ideas, or making links between your work and your personal values. When you're headed in the right direction and you know why, you'll be intrinsically motivated to keep going. Keep in mind that your levels of motivation are likely to rise and fall over time. The trick is to use a variety of approaches and modify them as necessary to find what works best for you. You can conquer obstacles, realize your dreams, and enjoy a successful and meaningful life if you consistently feed your motivation and keep moving forward. Chapter 6. Self-control and emotional toughness. The ability to discipline oneself is a cornerstone of emotional and psychological fortitude. It stands for the ability to resist temptations for short-term pleasure and keep your eye on the prize for the long haul. The ability to control one's emotions, avoid procrastination, and keep one's word or routine takes time and effort to hone. Individuals learn to fortify their minds through the practice of self-discipline. They are able to keep their cool and keep going no matter how difficult the situation gets. One who is mentally resilient can recover quickly from setbacks and see them as transitory obstacles rather than permanent roadblocks. It requires a willingness to change course when necessary and the skills to draw on past experiences for guidance. A growth attitude is supported by self-control and the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Disciplined people know that achieving long-term goals takes time and energy. They are prepared to put in the time and effort required and to make compromises to realize their dreams. Mental toughness, on the other hand, lets people see setbacks and mistakes for what they really are, chances to learn and improve. The positive feedback loop, formed by self-discipline and mental resilience, is reinforced by the presence of both. A person's mental fortitude increases in proportion to the amount of self-discipline they practice. Similar to physical resilience, mental resilience allows people to keep their cool when things get tough. Self-discipline is a self-reinforcing trait. When it is regularly exercised, it strengthens mental resilience, which in turn strengthens self-discipline. Self-control and mental toughness also add to one's happiness and sense of accomplishment. Self-disciplined people are more likely to take care of themselves in all aspects of their lives, including getting enough rest, eating right, and being active. These practices in turn strengthen psychological resilience by arming people with the material and emotional means to deal with adversity. Having self-discipline helps people in relationships by allowing them to rein in their emotions. It helps them communicate clearly, deal with disagreements in productive ways, and act rationally under pressure. By controlling their impulses, people can avoid damaging retorts and instead respond to interpersonal conflicts with compassion and wisdom. The capacity to manage one's feelings strengthens mental resilience within relationships, allowing partners to grow closer and weather difficulties together. Self-discipline is essential for success in the workplace, both in terms of getting where you want to go and being productive once you get there. Putting in the time, energy, and focus necessary to succeed in one's chosen field requires prioritization, organization, and consistency. Self-discipline is the ability to ignore interruptions, complete tasks on time, and keep going despite difficulties or setbacks. It is possible to overcome setbacks in one's career, adjust to new situations, and keep one's drive intact through strengthening one's mental resilience. Having both of these qualities strengthens one's career, introduces one to exciting new chances, and sets one up for lasting success. Discipline and mental toughness, likewise, contribute to health in general. The capacity to delay gratification and make healthful decisions is beneficial to one's physical well-being, as is the practice of maintaining a nutritious diet, working out regularly, and getting plenty of sleep. These practices not only benefit one's physical health, but also their mental and emotional health, making one more resilient to stress and strengthening one's general mood and sense of mental clarity. Individuals can beat bad habits and compulsive behaviors with the help of self-discipline and mental resilience. Whether it's kicking the habit of smoking, recovering from an addiction, or changing destructive thought patterns, self-discipline is the key to success. The ability to mentally recover from failures, learn from them, and keep their sights fixed on long-term rehabilitation and personal improvement is crucial to this process. Self-control and mental toughness are two sides of the same coin, and together they can change a person's life for the better. It is fundamental to one's development, accomplishments, and contentment, and it influences one's personal and professional interactions and success. Individuals may face adversity with poise, flexibility, and a firm dedication to their aims and ideals if they practice self-discipline and foster mental resilience. People who work hard to improve their own self-control and psychological fortitude often discover that they are looked up to as examples by those around them. Individuals who exemplify these traits are able to show how powerful perseverance, dedication, and overcoming adversity can be. Others find strength in their company and are motivated to work on improving their own self-control and fortitude because of them. Discipline and mental toughness also add to one's own happiness and sense of achievement. A deep sense of pride and fulfillment comes when people continually practice self-discipline and conquer obstacles via mental resilience. They are aware of their maturation, the ways in which they have strengthened themselves, and the strides they have made. With this newfound insight and assurance, they will be better equipped to overcome future difficulties. Self-control and mental toughness also contribute to a person's sense of independence and control. Individuals become less reliant on external conditions for their well-being when they learn to manage their own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. They learn to look within themselves for solutions to problems, or to have a growth mindset. Because of this confidence in their own abilities, individuals are more able to persevere in the face of adversity. Consistency with one's own standards and the ability to bounce back from adversity are both qualities that may be developed and improved through practice. They call for diligence, introspection, and a determination to better oneself through time. Goal setting, habit formation, time management, mindfulness, and the strategic use of external resources are all essential components of building self-discipline and mental resilience. A dynamic and life-altering path to self-improvement lies at the heart of the link between self-discipline and mental resilience. When put together, these traits allow people to deal with the challenges of everyday life, embrace change, and persevere in the face of adversity. The key to realizing one's full potential and laying the groundwork for a resilient, satisfying, and purpose-driven existence is the cultivation of self-discipline and mental resilience. Chapter 7. How to build willpower and tenacity. Awareness of one's own feelings is a vital step towards developing emotional resilience. Spend some time getting in touch with your inner state of mind. If you give thought to and name your emotions, you can develop strategies for dealing with them. You can learn more about yourself by writing in a journal, practicing meditation, or consulting a therapist or counselor. Mindset modification is also crucial. Develop a growth mindset, the conviction that difficulties are lessons in disguise. Reframe your setbacks as learning opportunities that will help you succeed in the future. Positive thinking and thankfulness can help you see the bright side of life, even when things seem bleak. Building emotional fortitude and sticking to goals require the talent of resilience. To be resilient is not to shun or ignore adversity, but rather to rise above it. Develop your ability to weather adversity by surrounding yourself with positive people who can offer advice, moral support, and understanding when times become rough. Put yourself in the company of those who will serve as positive influences. Increasing one's emotional quotient also requires working on one's emotional intelligence. Having empathy for others and a firm grasp of your own feelings are hallmarks of emotional maturity. It's a useful tool for interacting with others and conveying your thoughts clearly. Enhance your emotional quotient through the cultivation of skills like active listening, empathy, and compassion. It's best to aim for the stars, but enjoy the little successes along the way. Create a plan to achieve your goals by breaking them down into smaller, more manageable chunks. Celebrate every success, no matter how tiny, and give yourself a reward. Doing so will give you a sense of pride and encourage you to keep going. It is through perseverance that one develops emotional fortitude and tenacity. Be patient with yourself. It takes time to develop emotional fortitude and resiliency. It's going to take some work and persistence. Kindness towards oneself includes allowing for slip-ups and disappointments. Take the lessons learned and move on. Realize that difficulties are inevitable along the path of life and can teach you important lessons. Having a proactive frame of mind is also essential. Develop an active mindset instead of learning to accept life as it comes. Accept the consequences of your decisions and actions, and work on changing the things you can change rather than dwelling on the things you can't. If you find yourself feeling overwhelmed by difficulties, try shifting your perspective by asking, what can I do to improve this situation? Accepting one's own frailty is essential to developing one's emotional strength. Realize that being exposed to risk can actually be a source of strength. You can form genuine bonds with others, rely on them in times of need, and have richer, more fulfilling interactions as a result. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you make room for learning, development, and toughness. Maintain a focus on the here and now and the practice of mindfulness. Regrets for the past and fears for the future are common mental entanglements. Mindfulness training helps people stay firmly planted in the here and now, where all their potential lies. Mindfulness has been shown to have positive effects on stress levels, self-awareness, and the ability to respond to challenging events with composure and clarity. Developing resilience and emotional fortitude is not a one-step procedure. There will be stumbling blocks and obstacles to overcome. It can be beneficial to reach out for help from a therapist, counselor, or support group when going through tough times. They can help you find direction, gain perspective, and access resources to get through challenging times. Train your mind to be kind to itself. Be gentle and forgiving with yourself, even when things are tough. Use self-compassionate language, Acknowledge your progress, and be kind to yourself when things don't go as planned. Keep in mind that you are only human, and that learning from your mistakes is essential. Be as kind and patient with yourself as you would be with a close friend or family member. It takes time, effort, and introspection to develop emotional resilience and tenacity. These habits can help you become more resilient, deal with adversity more effectively, and advance in your personal development. Keep in mind that you already possess the fortitude to overcome whatever difficulty you may encounter. As you work to improve your mental toughness and tenacity, it will serve you well to adopt an attitude of never-ending self-improvement. Develop an interest in learning new things, both about yourself and the world. Explore unfamiliar territory, push your limits, and welcome the chance to expand your horizons. Adopting a growth mindset enables you to view challenges and setbacks as learning experiences. Building resilience involves learning and practicing healthy ways to deal with stress and setbacks. Learn to deal with stressful feelings and events in a healthy way. Deep breathing, meditation, journaling, painting, playing music, or even go to therapy or counseling could all help you unwind and find your center again. Try out many approaches until you find the ones that serve you best. Develop a habit of loving and accepting yourself. Recognize your accomplishments, accept your shortcomings, and stop being so hard on yourself. Be kind to yourself. Remember that it's normal to make errors and struggle sometimes. Recognize and appreciate even the smallest steps forward in your development. You may lay the groundwork for resilience and emotional fortitude by cultivating a healthy rapport with yourself. To develop resilience and perseverance, it's important to enjoy the process, not simply the end result. Spend some time thinking about how far you've come and how much you value the experiences that have shaped you. Recognize that even seemingly insignificant successes are building blocks for future success and resilience. Strengthening one's emotional fortitude and tenacity is a constant process that calls for focus, time, and introspection. Take everything that comes your way, including achievements and failures, as lessons and chances to evolve. Have faith in your own strength and the fact that you can overcome any difficulty in life. You may equip yourself to live a richer, more resilient life by working on your emotional strength and resilience. Chapter 8. Time Management. Mastering the art of time management is crucial because it allows us to do more in a day, feel less pressure, and enjoy life more. There are ways to make the most of our time and work more effectively towards our goals. It is essential to begin with well-defined objectives. When we know what we're working towards, we can set priorities and make better use of our time. By dividing up a large project into more manageable chunks, we may avoid being overwhelmed and get more done. Setting priorities is a crucial part of managing your time effectively. It is easier to prioritize our work when we know what needs to be done immediately and what can wait. Spending time on unimportant matters can be avoided if we can identify those things that genuinely matter and those that merely appear essential. In addition, making a plan or a list of things to do can help us better manage our time. When we schedule our days or weeks ahead of time, we may divide up our time amongst all of our obligations. As a result, we are able to make better use of our time and are better able to resist becoming sidetracked or putting off our work. One of the cornerstones of efficient time management is the avoidance of distractions. Notifications, social media, and other digital diversions can make it difficult to stay on task today. Focus and concentration can be fostered by establishing technological boundaries, turning off notifications, and establishing a dedicated workplace. Time can be saved and jobs can be delegated if you learn to do so. Realizing our limitations and delegating some of our work to others frees us up to concentrate on more intricate or vital endeavors. Time is not the sole benefit of delegation. It also encourages teamwork and cooperation. The Pomodoro technique and other time-blocking methods are another option. We can get more done in less time by allocating specified chunks of time to individual jobs and then sticking to that schedule. The Pomodoro technique recommends working in intervals of 25 minutes, with a 5-minute break in between. This strategy boosts efficiency by taking advantage of concentrated periods of work. Taking care of yourself is essential if you want to be efficient with your time. Focus, vitality, and well-being can all benefit from regular breaks, sufficient sleep, physical activity, and a good diet. When our physical and mental well-being are top priorities, we are better able to organize our time efficiently. Goal setting, task prioritizing, schedule making, distraction control, delegation, time blocking, self-care, and regular strategy assessment all contribute to efficient use of time. By putting these practices into action, we can maximize our time, work more efficiently, and enrich our lives in many ways. The ability to discipline oneself and concentrate intently is also crucial. Distractions have a way of getting in the way of our work and eating up precious minutes. Self-discipline is the ability to focus on one's work without getting distracted by trivial matters. The 2-minute rule, in which we don't put off doing tiny activities until later, is one example of a method that can help us get things done more quickly. Time management is substantially aided by using efficient organizational systems. If your physical or virtual workstation is well organized, you'll spend less time rummaging around for what you need. Filing, labeling, and the use of digital productivity tools are all examples of systems that can improve efficiency and reduce chaos. The ability to say no when necessary is also essential for efficient time management. Commitments and obligations can quickly dominate our time, and we often find ourselves feeling overwhelmed. One of the most important skills in time management is learning how to say no gently to requests that don't fit in with our priorities. We may then zero in on the essentials without worrying about taking on too much. In addition, learning and applying techniques of delegation and teamwork can greatly improve productivity. We may reduce our workload and make more time for what really matters if we learn to recognize when jobs can be shared or when others can contribute their knowledge. Delegation not only gives others agency, but also helps teams capitalize on each member's skill set for optimal performance. Improving our time management skills requires regular assessment and analysis of our productivity. Taking stock of our progress, figuring out what needs fixing, and altering our methods accordingly can help us keep improving and working more effectively. This may require doing things like keeping a time log, keeping score, or asking for advice from superiors. We may improve our productivity, emotional well-being, and work-life equilibrium by adopting these practices and making time management a priority in our daily lives. The ultimate aim is to be deliberate in how we use our time and to check that our deeds are in line with our ideals. How to set priorities and get rid of time wasters. First, prioritize the activities that need to be completed. Think about the time constraints, repercussions, and overall effect on your goals. Using this assessment, you can see which chores need your immediate attention and which ones can wait or be delegated. The next step is to zero in on the most important activities that will help you reach your goals. These actions may be crucial to your success or have lasting advantages. Focus your time and effort on finishing them quickly and correctly. Despite its apparent time-saving benefits, multitasking frequently results in less work being completed and more mistakes being made. Instead, give each work your undivided attention until it is finished or an acceptable stopping point is reached. Master the art of saying no to distractions that will not help you reach your goals. Limiting yourself and not overcommitting can help you focus on what's really essential. If a request is not in accordance with your goals or would need more of your time than you have available, politely decline the work or assign it to someone else. Find the things you're doing that aren't productive or that are making you procrastinate and stop doing them. These include things like wasting time on social media, surfing the web aimlessly, or having pointless conversations with friends. Reducing or eliminating these interruptions will free you up to concentrate on what really matters. If you want to get more done in less time, try grouping related jobs together. Batching related tasks, like answering emails or making phone calls, can help you get more done in less time because you won't have to switch gears as often. Using this method, you may maintain momentum and keep your attention on the task at hand. Priorities need to be reviewed and reevaluated frequently as life's events unfold. Workload management success necessitates a degree of flexibility. Maintain a level of adaptability and be prepared to make changes to your strategy and priorities as needed. Don't forget to give yourself some time off and focus on your own well-being. Taking frequent pauses can help you keep your attention and avoid burnout, which goes against common sense. Recharge your batteries and get some mental clarity by doing things like taking a walk, practicing mindfulness, or hanging out with friends and family. That if you stick to these rules and get into a productive rhythm, you'll be able to remove time wasters, set realistic priorities, and get more done. How to make great schedules that works for you. The first step is to determine what has to be accomplished and in what order. Find out what it is you hope to achieve and prioritize the activities and endeavors that will help you get there. The next step is to take stock of your time and energy. Think about the deadlines, responsibilities, and limits that could affect your calendar on a personal and professional level. You can better manage your time with this newfound insight. Once you know what you want to accomplish and how much time you have to complete it, you can begin to divide up the work. This provides for more structure and less confusion. Think about how long you think each step will take and set reasonable deadlines for yourself. Think about how you feel physically and mentally at different times of the day. Think about when you have the most motivation, concentration, and inspiration. Plan your most important and challenging work during certain times of day. When you feel your energy level dropping, that's the time to focus on less taxing or administrative activities. Build in extra time between commitments to accommodate for delays or interruptions. You won't have to rush or feel overwhelmed while you adjust to unforeseen circumstances. Schedule frequent breaks to protect yourself from exhaustion. Taking frequent, brief breaks during the day has been shown to improve concentration, reduce fatigue, and maximize output. Get some much-needed rest, do some stretching, or do anything that gets your blood pumping. Make sure you schedule time for things like exercise, mindfulness, and hobbies in addition to breaks. Maintaining equilibrium and avoiding burnout requires attention to both physical and mental health. Maintain a healthy work-life balance by establishing limits. Establish and share with others your work schedule. Neither overcommit nor over-sacrifice your own time. Make an effort to balance your professional and personal life. To keep from tipping over, agility is essential. Recognize that your plans may need to change due to events beyond of your control and make adjustments as necessary. Adopt a growth perspective and look at transitions as new chances rather than setbacks. Schedule evaluation and review should be done frequently. Think on how far you've come, evaluate your output, and search for ways to boost your efficiency. If you want to function at your best and feel your best, you need to arrange your schedule accordingly. Keep in mind that prioritizing your health and happiness alongside productivity is the key to a successful schedule. A productive and satisfying routine can be designed by taking into account one's goals, priorities, energy levels, and other individual demands. A well-balanced schedule can also be helped by open lines of communication and teamwork. Plan ahead with coworkers, teammates, or loved ones to avoid or mitigate scheduling difficulties. The burden can be shared more fairly and stress levels lowered by encouraging open dialogue and assigning roles accordingly. Try to maximize productivity when setting up meetings and appointments. Make sure everyone is prepared and that you stick to the schedule you've set. Don't schedule meetings or make commitments that conflict with one another, as this will only slow you down. Incorporate time-saving technological and productivity tools into your planning routine. Use a digital calendar, a task management tool, or a piece of project management software to keep tabs on your schedule, tasks, and accomplishments. Keep yourself on track with automated alerts and reminders. Don't be afraid to hand over responsibilities. Accept the fact that you can't solve every problem by yourself. Find the work that is better off being done by someone else, be it a coworker, a team member, or professional service. When you delegate tasks, you reduce your workload and free up time to devote to more important endeavors. Learn some time management skills. Create time slots throughout the day for various activities. You will be less productive and more stressed if you try to multitask. In its place, we should single task and set aside specific times for focused effort. Check in on your progress frequently and tweak your plan as needed. Think back on your successes, failures, and what you've learned. Recognize your achievements and work to further them. Adopt a learning attitude and make advantage of criticism to hone your time management strategies.